No collab character has been above Epic 7 is telling us that, guys, you get what you get. It has been hundreds of patches since we have a buff for someone that truly needs it that isn't broken. The 9th of May balance adjustment preview. Will we finally see some familiar faces that really need a buff like Blood Moon Haze? We'll find out. I swear if they still miss him, it's just over. Balance adjustment. Blood Moon Haze! After years of waiting, Blood Moon Haze has finally been acknowledged as an actual character in the game. They've just ignored him for no reason for so long. This is like an entire arc in my life. Blood Moon Haze that's buffless. So let's see what changed for him. I think there's a lot. Holy shit. We'll start from his S1. This is Blood Scythe. Before it only does like dispel 1 buff and that's about it. Nothing much. Let's see. There's a lot of green text here. Attacks by swinging an axe, dispelling 1 buff. Like before. Damage dealt increases proportional health. That's same as well, but a green text here. When successfully dispelling the target's buff, activate Bloody Retribution as an extra attack. What does that do? Bloody Retribution attacks the enemy with a scythe, recovers health of all allies. So it's a single target attack. We heal up all our allies. Okay, understood. Damage dealt increase proportional to the caster's max health. So it's a heal skill with every S1. That actually sounds very good. Every dispel we get a heal. Now he feels more like an actual consistent healer. Dispel above heals allies. Dispel above heals allies. This is an S1. For an S1, that's pretty valuable. Okay, I like this. Grudge. This is his passive before it only gets a barrier if someone's revived. Now what happens? When attacking, penetrates target's defense and cannot trigger a hit. When an ally dies, grants a barrier and immunity to all allies and grants blood aura to the caster for 2 turns and be only activated once every 4 turns. Okay, let's break this down a little bit. Blood aura increases effectiveness and speed, but either way though, when an ally dies, only then you get a barrier and immunity. That could be interesting. Like if the barrier is as big as before, which it isn't right here, it says decrease barrier. We'll keep reading, see what it does with the S3. These spells all buffs from the enemy before attacking with scythe. Okay, that's like a shalltear. Okay, and with his passive, this ignores defense. When the enemy is defeated, revives all dead allies before granting immortality for 1 turn. When the caster is granted blood aura, increases damage dealt by 100%. Okay. Damage dealt increases proportional to the max health. And to top it all off, damage dealt is increased with 1 less cooldown. This is very interesting. So he went from countering the enemy's revive to becoming a reviver now. Whenever someone dies is the moment where you need the revive. And once someone dies, you will get blood aura with Grudge. Once you get this blood aura, you're gonna do 100% damage with Moon Slash. And if damage dealt is increased, he might actually do a lot of damage. But now that it's increased, and on top of that, there's a gimmick that could double the damage dealt, we might be looking at a 20k nuke that ignores defense right here, and then have your allies be revived at the same time with immortality. I like this. I think he'll be very interesting to see how it works out. And I think the main thing here is depending on how much damage he'll do with Moon Slash, it will directly affect how good he is. If he can nuke someone, yo, that's gonna be an insane skill. However, this is a double-edged sword though. If he cannot kill, like if the damage is just not there, he does 14k damage, can't kill anyone, then there's no revive. This S3 instantly becomes kind of pointless. So it'll depend on how much damage this is. That's my opinion. Next up, we have Sage Ball and Sazan. The sleep chance have been increased from 85 right now to 100%. So he was always an anti-cleaver, and the moment he takes a turn, he's supposed to sleep the whole team. But at the current moment, he only has 85% chance to sleep, so he could just not activate. That will no longer be the case. Now he can sleep for sure. I guess this is okay, but then again, these days I don't see too much balances on. But you know, why not? It's quality of life. Nothing crazy. Let's keep going. Ravi. This should be an interesting one. We have Slaughter. This is her S1. Successful attack always results in a critical hit. Oh, okay. This will be an ML Landy counter. Okay, that's really good. Finally, an RGB 5-star that we can really just slam into someone like ML Landy. I love that. I hate Landy. Amount recovered decrease. Depending on how much it decreases, she might have a tougher time trying to solo stuff. But either way, let's keep on reading. We have Demon's Blood. This is her passive. Starts the battle with 60 fighting spirit. Now increases attack proportional to the caster's max health. So you need more HP now in a Fire Ravi. Instead of from before, you need high attack, high HP, high everything. The rate of increased attack does not change after it is activated. Okay, so it doesn't care about injury then. If my health drops down, my max health drops by injury, my damage stays. It doesn't change. This is what it reads. After being attacked, increases here by 15. This is the same. After suffering a critical hit, dispels 1 debuff from the caster. Okay, this is like her very own Crimson Seed built into her kit. And with her EE, you can actually dispel 1 more debuff on her S1. That's what I believe. I could be wrong. But okay, now she's pretty good against debuffs as well. She's got a way to deal with them. Dispel debuff effect can only be activated only once per turn. That's fair enough. But let's see, the S3, this will be the juice here. Brutally attacks all enemies, inflicting injury. Oh, it inflicts injury now? Okay. 75% chance to stun, that's the same. Successful attack always results in a crit. Severity of injury increases proportional damage dealt. Injuries decrease max health by up to 20% every time this skill is used. Consumes 90 fighting spirit, and the damage dealt has been increased. I think it's important to realize the changes here. So it says damage dealt increase, but it removed the penetration effect that we have from before and removed the CR reduction with the stun gimmick that she had from before. I think Fire Ravi has basically had a whole new rework here. That's very interesting. Now from her S1, it should say acquired 30 fighting spirit. It's what it says right here. It didn't write it in the patch, but this means that she starts with 60. One S1 later, she can use the S3, the Devil Drive, that takes 90. That should be what it means. So this feels really good. I think a lot of people will have fun with Fire Ravi here, considering there's ML Landings all over the place with injury as well. Very interesting. You'll see some Fire Ravi in play. I'm very excited for that. Exclusive equipment has also changed. Oh, so this is the dispel effect from before that I mentioned, right? They removed this EE, put it in her kit, and they swapped the EE now to make Slaughter or Devil Drive do 10% more damage. Okay, that's very interesting. So the best in slot for her will be these damage buffing effects, I believe. What's the third one though? The third one increases the chance to stun by 10. I don't know if that's the best one anymore. We'll have to see later. I think just focusing on damage would just be better. You just want to get that injury to be, you know, at the maximum amount that it can deal. That's what I think, but let's keep going. We have Kane now. Before, he basically is just a Rift character or Golem character. Nothing crazy, right? Let's see. What has changed? Attacks the enemy with a hammer, increases combat readiness of the caster by 15%. Okay, I'm getting some counter set vibes from this if he's gonna be a PvP character. When caster is enraged, activates Rock Smash as an extra attack. Rock Smash can be only activated once per turn during the caster's turn. Okay, so no counter set. It's still the same. He only gets the Rock Smash during his turn. What changed with Rock Smash? Attacks all enemies, inflicts bleeding for 2 turns, ignore effect resistance, but the damage is decreased. Guys, this is very good for PvE. Ignoring effect resistance with the bleed, that only pretty much matters in Rift, right? You ignore ER, guarantees the bleed. Now, Force Awakening, what is this? This is the passive. Upon receiving lethal damage, grants immortality. He already has this, so everything is the same except for the fact that it removes 50 fighting spirit now. Before, he has fighting spirit coming into a fight. Now it's gone. Okay. After an ally attacks, if the target has a debuff, gains 10 fighting spirit. When fighting spirit is full, consume all fighting spirit, make the caster enraged for 2 turns. I think this is still PvE. If you remember back in the day where we have Rift, you just spam those debuffs. Now you don't need it to be bleed. Beforehand, you need it to be bleed. Now you just need debuff. Death break works, speed down works, attack down works as well. But you never know. Maybe there's a PvP strat. We'll see though. Ignore FRES bleed. We could cook something out maybe. We'll see. Not too hopeful though. Next up, well, Bologna. What have changed with you? The sober from before increases damage dealt. Now it's a 20 sober that gets you an extra turn. For S2, Butterfly Fan just got damage dealt increase and removed the fact that you need more enemies. Okay, that's just quality of life. Razorman Fan, the S3. Damage dealt instantly just increase. Okay. Finally, the decreased defense chance is 100%. That's the issue with Bologna for a long time. You need an EE to get it to 100 to just make it 100, man. Holy shit. Increases damage dealt even further if it's triggered by your S1. That's okay. Why not? So what happened with the EE? Because initially your death rate chance will be increased if you have the EE. So right now it has changed. It becomes decreases cooldown Butterfly Fan for 1 turn. I'm gonna be absolutely real with you. This is whatever. It helps you with PvE, but honestly, I could have no Bologna and still beat any PvE modes. So it's like, alright, you know, like, okay, duly noted. Celine though, this one's the big one. This could change the whole meta right now. We have the uppercut. This is her S1. Before it does more damage with crit, now it says grants stealth to the caster for 1 turn with the damage stealth already increased. Oh, so now this might be a perma stealth Celine. Okay, let's keep going first. Intuition, this is the passive. At the start of the battle, grants stealth for 2 turns. Celine Celine is now a perma stealth character. Now, kind of like a shalltear, right? Actually, better than a shalltear, because shalltear should have had this. Get stealth at the start of the battle. This seems pretty dumb. Everything else is kind of the same, except for the fact that the blink now does not increase 20% CR, it increases by 30. Also, blink acquires you with 10 soul, with damage dealt increase. This makes it so she just doesn't need that EE anymore to get the stealth, and you just get more value, right? You get more CR, you get more damage. Overall, pretty good, and you get perma stealth with the S1. I think that's a pretty huge change. EE wise though, she had one to give herself. What did it turn into? Stuns her target for 1 turn when using blink. Okay, that doesn't really make sense to me, because you know, when you blink somebody, you want to just kill it. Blink is her passive like nuke whenever someone's like using non-attack skill. That's the blink. Why would I stun it? I just want to kill it, right? But sure, I guess I can stun it now if I want to. Overall, I think the main change is she gets perma stealth. I just want that blink to kill. If it does, great. But the CR increase though, that might be where it's at, the 30%. I could cut better, I guess. Lowers the amount of speed I need to cut people. Okay, I can get that. Last piece, Karen. We start with Phantom Strike. This is her S2, which is the one that counters evasion units, decreasing combat readiness by 30. This is also weird for me because I just want to kill them, right? If I use this skill, I want to kill someone. It says damage dealt increase though, which is good. Let's see what the ult does though. Becomes 1 with a sword, granting increased attack and phantom sword to the caster for 3 turns. So she no longer has the debuff cleanse, which, you know what, it's not that big of a deal to me, because usually want to use her aggressively, not wait for someone to debuff you and then use the skill. But otherwise, it's about the same, really. Let's see what changed with phantom sword though. This is a buff, a unique buff for her if she gets the S3 off. When attacking, if the target is a hero, ignores damage reduction and damage sharing. Damage reduction and sharing. Okay, so this is like unmitigatable pretty much. And when defeating an enemy, phantom sword changes into a phantom sword. This is where her buff upgrades. So what is the upgraded version doing? Ignore damage reduction and damage sharing. Okay, so it's the same as before. I would say everything here means she does more damage now to literally anyone. Mitigation does not matter. She's gonna kill better now. Will she just tank bust someone? Absolutely not. I don't think that's gonna happen, but she will definitely kill any evasion characters, even if it's a scored with barrier now. If she can tank buzz, this will depend on testing, but if she can tank buzz, she'll be insane. But we'll keep going. Cooldown is lowered to 4 turns, which is nice, right? The upgraded buff of Neo Phantom Sword damage levels increase as well. I still don't think it can like just tank buzz a Karina, but it sure can kill any Ainz or any Violets, I suppose. Alexa's Basket, Abyssal Crown. These two could change the whole like best in slot artifacts for a lot of characters, okay? 35 to 70% chance at max limit break to get increased attack for 1 turn, and then a 20 to 40% chance to get increased attack greater. So does this mean I get 2 rolls? It's either I get a attack buff that's not greater, or I get the greater attack buff now. Okay, you know what? I think that's a solid change that doesn't break the game or anything like that. It's not 100% like Tachi, so I don't think it'll like be that big a deal. Nobody's gonna just make Alexa's Basket the best artifact for like ever now. It's still an RNG reliant artifact. Sometimes you get gap, sometimes you get a attack buff, sometimes you get nothing. So yeah, I think that's fine. Nothing too crazy as well. Abyssal Crown. What did this change? 24% was the max before. Now it increased to 30 with the lowest win 15. Just increasing the numbers, you know what? That's whatever, I suppose. More RNG. And that is it. So let's start with the obvious thing. No collab character has been buffed. Epic 7 is telling us that, guys, you get what you get. Surely they had to buff an Ainz. If they can just increase the Abyssal Crown number, why not just give Ainz ignore resistance? They gave Kayn ignore resistance. Why not Ainz? That is so funny. What about albedo? I actually think albedo has a place, like you can play her in a very niche situation. So you know what, if they don't buff albedo, I get it, I guess. But dude, Ainz, he is practically unusable in PvE mode because the bosses doesn't get death sentence. He is not really reliable at all in Guild War or in RTA, not as much as Dark Horse would be, because the enemy could just 50% you and then you're like, wow, 3 turns I gotta waste to get the cooldown back. But you know what, at least we have Blood Moon Haste. That's touch. That guy needed it, man. Like, let's be happy about something. I think the winners are definitely Blood Moon Haste, depending on how much damage he'll do, because that needs to be like, he needs to kill to revive. If he does a lot that could penetrate a lot of defense, then that's good. Ravi has a really good change. I think this will be the free-to-play version. If you have a Fire Ravi that you randomly pull, you can now pitch her against anti-crit nonsense like ML Landy. I love that. More ML Landy counters is needed. That's not just ML5. Kayn is whatever for me. Bellona is whatever for me. Celine is perma stealth now, but as a cleaver myself, there's ways to go, you know, around that. Last piece, Karen. This one just makes her do better at her own job, which is counter evasion characters that we just have shalltear coming out. And we also just have shalltear. So if her damage increase on Neo Phantom Sword is a lot that she can tank buffs, that's different. But we'll have to see, right? They're good buffs. They're really whatever buffs. And they left out the overlord characters that I think at least Ainz has to be buffed, dude. Otherwise, I just don't see. After this event, nobody's gonna really want to use Ainz because 15%'s there. I think there's gonna be mixed reviews here. There are gonna be people who's happy about Blood Moon Haze being at least cared for. There's gonna be people that's happy about Ravi. At least she's cared for as well. I think she deserves the buff. There's also gonna be people who's mad that no overlord characters touch at all. And people who's mad at some random buffs that makes no like impact at all, like freaking Bellona. I think that actually just changed nothing, by the way. You still use her in PvE, but I guess now she has 100% decreased defense and 1 turn less cooldown on S2. It's a buff! And that'll be all for my thoughts, and that is all. Take care.